talk so loud on the train. So my solution was mouth the words and then later in this voiceover explain what I was mouthing in the clips. So what I was trying to say was that I'm gonna make a beanie, but smaller, because the one that I have on my head in the clips is one that I made extra large to fit over my hair because I have big hair. So I wanted to make one that was smaller because it's for someone else and her hair is short, so I wanted it to be able to like fit over her head but like comfortably and like snug, because you know it's supposed to keep you warm. So that was the goal, and the whole point of this was to try and finish a project in a day, because I'm someone who takes forever to finish crochet projects. Usually beanies take me like 3 days because I start, stop. So I was trying for the very first time to finish one in a day. And so yeah, that's what this video is. Azu tries to complete a crochet project in 1 day. I was using a size 5.5 millimeter hook, and I was using acrylic yarn, and I think 5.5 is the recommended hook size for that yarn. I never know because I don't pay attention to the recommended hook size. I always crochet with 5.5 or a 4.5 regardless of yarn weight, because I don't know, those are the hooks I like the most. Sometimes I'll use a 6, but it's a last resort type of thing. Like the yarn has to be really big for me to use a 6. Like I have a yarn that it's recommended an 8 millimeter hook, and I always use the 6 with that one because I physically can't use the 5.5. It just slips out. So I use a 6 for that, but mostly I use 5.5 for everything. So I chain the length that will fit over my head with room to fold over. And don't pay attention to what I'm doing in these clips because I measured it wrong at first. I don't know, it's been a long time since I made a beanie, so I thought for some reason that I was supposed to measure around my head first, which is not how I make beanies, so I don't know why I was doing that. I measure it like from between my eyebrows to the crown of my head, and that's pretty much how long I make it. But the person who I was making this for has a smaller head than me, so I made it a bit smaller than that. So I do that. I make a chain that's however long that is from the middle of my eyebrows to the top of my head. And then I do double crochet in every chain. And then after that, I do double crochet in every chain, but the back loop only up until the last 5 stitches. And then I do single crochet so that when I stitch the top together, it's not like bunching up and like really thick. So I do single crochet for the last 5 stitches, and then I do it all again. I know that's probably not the best explanation. I'm not good at explaining crochet projects or like stitches or stitch counts, mostly because I don't keep track of it. And I had no stitch markers for this. I don't use stitch markers that much anyway. I use them when I make beanies though to keep track of the last 5. But I was just kind of working with what I had because I didn't have any stitch markers. But it turned out pretty okay. I'm not mad at it. I like riding the train. The best part is the scenery. Riding from New Orleans to Memphis was like 8.5 hours. Not the worst train ride I've been on, but it wasn't the best. The best train ride is from Milwaukee to Chicago. It's my favorite one. It's quick, it's pretty, it's easy. But this one was a lot longer than that. It was 8.5 hours. And I had to write a paper, and I had to finish this project. So those were the goals. Yeah. But the scenery was really pretty. We drove through a couple of towns in Louisiana and then mostly a bunch of towns in Mississippi. until we hit Tennessee. All the towns in Mississippi look the exact same. If you've been to one little town in Mississippi, you've seen them all. They are all the exact same. They're very pretty though. Like the trees change colors and it's like all fall. It doesn't really translate well to the camera, at least with the phone that I have. You couldn't really see all the pretty leaves that I could see like with my eyeballs, but it was pretty. It was a pretty ride. It took me like, in total, I want to say it took me like 4 hours. Ignore voiceover me. It took 6 hours. I guess I forgot. I don't know. And that was because I kept taking breaks. At one point, I got tired and I tried to take a nap, but I couldn't fall asleep. Another point, I got hungry, so I ate. But, oh, and then another part was that I accidentally cut the yarn when I didn't finish stitching the hat together, and I cut the yarn. I don't know what was, I think it was just because I hadn't slept that whole time, and I have really bad motion sickness, so the train shaking like side to side was kind of making me sick, and I think that my head just wasn't all there because I literally cut the yarn before sewing it together, and then I had to take more yarn, sew it closed, and then finish the hat, but it all worked out in the end. As always, I forgot to record an outro, and actually in this video, I forgot to record an intro, but it's okay. Today's outro is just gonna be videos I took on the train. So enjoy the pretty scenery. It was nice. I liked all the like rundown buildings. I don't know, they looked cool. And the colors were nice, and it just kind of made me want to paint, but like specifically with watercolor. So maybe I'll do that when I get back to school. I don't know. But thank you for watching. This is the first episode of Azuka Tries because, you know, I meant to post this yesterday. But you're getting it today. Happy Tuesday. Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching. Someone is watching Barney.
You know, lost count again?
I didn't lose count. I just straight up forgot to sew them together.